Thank you, Senator. The Senator from Alexandria.
Fundamental to the operation of our democracy is a fair, open, and efficient election system. This is what most people come in contact with, other than DMV, with their government. We've all run for elected office, and we need it to be smooth and efficient. Now, this Senate budget cuts funding for the Department of Elections by over $4 million. That was 28% of its proposed funding from the governor, if I compute right. This is a drastic cut that will undermine the ability of the department to complete its critical mission of ensuring the integrity of our election process. And there should be bipartisan consensus, because there are many on the other side of the aisle, and some on this, who believe that there's problems right now with secure statewide voter registration database. There are people who talk about fraud. Let's prevent voter fraud if it was to occur, and particularly with the personal information of voters, and prevent it from occurring. I would note that Veris, the system that is proposed, that we are not fixing today, it does list maintenance activities, and when it ensures the accuracy and integrity of the registration list, that includes removal of deceased individuals, felons, non-citizens from the rolls. It includes checking for duplicate registrations across state lines, includes monitoring for voters who have moved in and out of the state. We want to make that better, not make the system break. We all know what happened the night that the deadline was for the voter registration in Virginia. The system broke. Some people went to court to stop it from being extended, and it was extended, but it was confusing to the voters. Let's let people register to vote easily. Let's have security. You know, the Federal Help America Vote Act, HAVA, grant currently covers approximately 60% of the department's operating budget, and those funds will be depleted by the third quarter of fiscal year 2018. Maintaining Veris is the main system used by local registrars to conduct their legally required functions. And I would say without this funding, the functionality of our system is at risk. Voter registration system improvements we're cutting by $1 million. We're cutting our improved local access to voter registration systems. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, I hope you will join me in voting no on items 2 through 7, and I will for a more efficient and secure voting system. And thanks to the Senator's explanation, I will be voting yes on 1 and no on the remaining amendments.
Thank you, Senator. The Senator from Fauquier, Senator Vogel.
Thank you, Mr. President. If no one else wishes to speak, I'd just like to make one final comment and one point of clarification. To respond to the gentleman from Arlington who makes important points about access and important points about the orderly administration of an election, I will tell the gentleman that, yes, we had a delicate balance to strike here, trying to allocate resources to compensation, trying to also address some of the issues that have been raised. Yes, we have issues of HAVA funding and the need to backfill some of that, but I wanted to make one important point that is very, I think might be overlooked. We are not cutting anything from the current Department of Elections budget. That's really important for the body to understand. This is new money that the governor had added into his introduced budget, and all we're doing is saying is we're not taking that new money. In fact, we were directing the money to compensation and other categories that were within the General Government and Technology Subcommittee. That's critical to this discussion. We are not taking any of their current money away. They currently had $9 million. This was going to bump that up. So that's important. We left some money there for them, and I'm confident that we will come back at a later time and revisit that, because it is the case that they will lose their HAVA money, and that money will have to be replaced. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. The Senator from Alexandria.
Yeah, will the Senator from Fauquier yield for one question from the Senator from Alexandria?
I'm happy to yield. I'm so sorry. The gentleman from Alexandria, I apologize. I said Arlington.
I'm proud to represent both. I would just say, while it may not cut state funding, I believe that the Senator acknowledged that we're going to lose our federal HAVA funding. So in effect, will the department not have less money to do the same functions when we pass, if we were to pass the Senate amendments?
The Senator from Fauquier.
Well, Mr. President, to be clear, what we have is their current budget. The governor was adding additional resources into this budget, so we're not cutting what they already have. It's true that they have additional funding coming from the HAVA funds that we would like to backfill and hopefully will backfill, but that was just the decision that we made in this subcommittee. But you're right, they will be losing some funding.
Thank you, Senators. Thank you. The question is, shall item 86, number 1, be agreed to? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to. Moving to 86, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. The question is, shall those items be agreed to? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. No. The ayes have it. The amendments are agreed to.